to bring the meeting of the Parks, Aquatics, Recreation, and Trails Commission to order. This is Wednesday, November 19th. Roll call, please.
Yes, ma'am. Chairman Fogg.
Here, present.
Vice Chair Ferry.
Present.
Commissioner Alsbury.
Here.
Commissioner Dory.
Present.
Commissioner Mann.
Present.
Commissioner Lawson.
Present.
Commissioner Smith. Here. Ma'am, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance right now. Item number 1, approval of minutes. Is there any discussion or a motion?
Move to approve.
We have a motion, a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, they passed. Let me see here. Number 2, call to the public, comments from the public. Those wishing to address the commission should fill out request forms in advance. Comments from the public will be restricted to items not on the agenda, with the exception of those on the consent agenda. There will be no comments allowed that advertise for a particular person or group. Comments should be limited to no longer than 3 minutes, and the commission may not respond to speakers during the call to the public. The commission may direct the staff to study the matter or request that the matter be placed on a future agenda. Call to the public. I do have a Donna Peterson who would like to speak.
I thought she wanted to speak about the Grandview pool,
Oh, is that,
so that will be,
Further down.
I guess you can speak to it now, I guess, but we're going to have that on the agenda as part of the report, so.
oh, it is. Okay. All right. You could either now or later.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I'm here again about the pool, and I was so happy to hear that it was on the agenda again today, and thank you for bringing it back so quickly. It's very exciting to hear that it's moving forward, making progress. Exciting to hear that it's underway, and hopefully by next summer we're ready to go. There's always plus. There's 2 areas down in the pool area too that I think could have some improvements, and it's down the road, I'm sure, when the budget allows for it. But the little area over by the splash pad for the little ones is just an empty grassy area, which is nice, but gets very little use because it just has a table in it. So at some point it would be nice to have that area done too. And then the dirt area up atop of the pool, there's large rocks in that area, and I don't know if that's going to be taken up with a project you already have planned. But if not, it would be good to have that. But I just appreciate that it's coming back and that you will consider it today, and I ask that you do approve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. We're going to number 3, action items, remediation of pet waste on White Cliffs Trail at the May 21st, 25 part commission meeting. Vice Chair Sarah Ferry requested an item agenda to discuss addressing pet waste on the White Cliffs Trails.
All right, we're here today to talk about doggy poo. So I absolutely love our beautiful trails. Our parks and volunteers have worked so hard to make them and keep them beautiful, but we have a real issue with dog waste. This is really on every trail. You also see it around the city on the sidewalks, and I think it is more of an education issue than anything else. I think people are used to, letting your dogs run in the desert and not really having to worry about it. I think, it's seems, I mean, it is like biodegradable, but it takes a lot of time. And I just noticed we have a lot of dog walkers, and so there's a lot of dog poop right on the trails. So I'm just wondering, I thought maybe we could have a discussion if anyone had any ideas. I've seen signs that are really positive that say something like, be a good neighbor, please pick up your dog waste and throw it away. I think that's really important. In some communities, they do have the dog waste receptacles with the bags. I'm personally not in favor of that because you see so many people picking up their poop, but then leaving it in the plastic on the trail. And so I mean, that's up for discussion too, but I think that having more plastic waste is not really a good solution. So I think it's more of a education. Can we put up a signage? Can we try to help educate the community about that your dog waste is litter, it is waste when everybody's sharing this trail. Also, maybe the city can help with doing some educational campaign on social media or something like that, where we can just start to begin to educate our community. You know, we have this new beautiful streetscape, let's pick up our dog poop. We have these new beautiful trails, let's help be good neighbors and pick up after our dogs. So that's all I have to say about that. Does anyone have any ideas?
I'd like to piggyback on that a little bit. I think it's biodegradable waste entirely. Because I see a ton of banana peels, they never go away. Banana peel is like plastic, it's permanent. Orange peels and stuff. So I just think that there's like a misunderstanding on the thought of something that's biodegradable is going to be gone next time they come walking through. So I think if there's an educational situation there, we need to emphasize the bio part of it, not necessarily being as biodegradable as their thought concept might be. But I couldn't concur more. The little bags, I mean, miles away from the trailhead. And who's going to carry it back at that point? And, you know, it's usually someone that can make it that far out that brings it back. So I concur highly. And I think that this is something that could be mitigated with just a little conversation with our users.
Anyone else? Comments?
Poop off the trail.
Yeah, so that's one of the things is we really don't like the trail users to leave the actual trail. It's, you know, it creates social trails, and it's, you know, mildly destructive because it's going to be a popular spot every time because one dog's going to smell where another dog went. So then it's going to lead to this growing leg of the bathroom leaving the trail. So I'm not sure, like, which is the most successful path. You know, leaving the trail could grow into a bigger issue.
So I guess, Mike, can I get a little direction from you as far as what we could possibly do?
I mean, I agree with, I think, both of you. I'm not really a big fan of the plastic bags. I mean, where my kids live, those are popular, and you see more plastic bags along the trail and everything. So, I mean, personally, what I do with my dogs when I go on the trails, and I take my dogs on the trails a lot, I just take my foot and scoop it off into the desert. I mean, you know, try to get it out of the way. I mean, I just think, so, I mean, we could put some signs up. Signs I don't think will help much, but I mean, we have a lot of signs down there already, so, you know, we could put one more, add something about signs, and, you know, it's probably not a bad idea, maybe on our digital billboards around town, talk about dog parks, streetscapes, please clean up your dog waste, and, you know, so it's a challenge not just at the trailhead, I think. You know?
Take a scoop, fling your poop.
Yeah, you're being pretty creative today.
I think I could see how that could be, you know, that would be good not to ride your bike through it or step in it, but also it's not really educating people. It's not a cohesive message throughout. So we don't want people to fling their poop into the road in the city.
Right.
So really, I think it's educating everybody can purchase these little rolls of bags and you pick up your dog poop when they poop, and it's just kind of being a good neighbor. So I wonder if we could just have a cohesive message that's, that, is the same for in town and, at dog parks and at trails. So would we need to come up with some sort of design, or do you guys have a graphic designer in the city that could come up with a sign?
Yeah, my graphic designer's sitting right over there.
Oh, he's good too. He's
No, we don't really
good.
have a graphic designer that would do that, but we try to do stuff like that in-house. And we look at other cities, what they have, and try to copy that a little bit, but
This is such a huge problem in every town USA. I mean, this is far-reaching. I don't think that we're gonna find like an end-all solution. I mean, this literally needs to be a national campaign where we tell everybody to potty your dog before you take them out on an adventure. It's only natural for the dog to want to scent along where it went. In case it gets lost, it wants to find its way back home, dominance, all the things. So, I mean, we need to dig deep on this. That's bigger than just us, like Mike said, with other municipalities. I mean, there's got to be more that could be done that's not expensive.
Well,
And
I like the idea of the biodegradable definition. So if you had a sign or social media or whatever you use, educating people about what's biodegradable and what's not. And also maybe if they want to bring bags, pack them out, instead of leaving them on the trail. So.
I just have one more thing to say, I think, about the sign thing in general and just education with the community in general. I know there's always going to be a percentage of people that don't care if you have a sign. But I read this really great article, and I'll see if I can find it and share it with you guys, but it kind of changed my mind about signs a little, because they said there's a percentage of people that are rule followers, and there's a percentage of people that are rebels, but the rule followers can be pretty persistent at getting others to come along. So I think as a city, you can look at it and say, we have this issue. We can do nothing about it because no one will ever follow these signs, or we can say, we have signs, we have an educational campaign. If people still choose not to do anything, that's on them, but we're doing everything we can to educate. So that's kind of how I feel about a lot of things, as far as like, are we gonna get this beautiful piece of equipment? Well, let's not do it because somebody might vandalize it. I just think let's do everything we can to get our community to come along and be good neighbors. So, should I make a motion? Would that be appropriate to get signage and have an educational campaign?
I think if you want to do that, I think, yeah, we can.
Okay. And then would we work together to come up with material, or is that something you guys could?
It would be helpful if you could come up with some stuff too, and maybe share it with us, what you think, and, because obviously my guys there, they have a lot of work to do too,
I
other
know
than
you
just
guys are very busy.
Yeah. But, so anyways, if you have ideas, share them with us. I think Commissioner Smith had a couple of good sayings there that sounded decent too to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, you can have more than one saying as well. So, I like you say, but educating the people, I'm not sure exactly, I said the digital signs, we could talk
Yeah.
about that and see. I don't know if that's someplace to put it too, but,
Yeah. Okay. I love what Ed said about education overall, about, what is biodegradable. And I think maybe at the sign, it could be something brief because people aren't going to read a lot, but maybe for social media, it might be a little bit more detailed. And I know we have an issue with like cigarette butts and things like that too. So I do think that that would be a good idea.
Park City had a nice little infographic on one of their public parks, and it had like the pile of, waste with the flies on it, and it showed like 10 months 14 months, and it gave like a 3-picture breakdown of like how long it takes for pet waste to, you know, dissolve and go back to the earth. So I think just simple, you know, just awareness and like simple infographic of some sort. I think the more minimal you make it, the more we might get with it.
Do you think that we, as a commission, might be able to find some examples that maybe we could share?
Oh, sure.
Okay. All right, so I'll make a motion that, as a commission, we do our part to try to help find some educational material to share, and that the city helps us to create a educational dog waste sign at the trailhead, and has an educational campaign with social media and the billboards if possible.
Okay.
That's my
Did
motion.
you get that, Sherry?
Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second that motion.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passed. We're going to number 3B, Lewis, Kingman Park Train Silhouette Painting. City of Kingman Tourism Manager Josh Noble provided a presentation on August 20th, 2025, proposing a mural at Las Vegas, or Lewis Kingman Park. Currently, Lewis Kingman Park has an art installation consisting of 39-foot, it's a half-inch metal cutout silhouette depicting a train and a surveyor. The art piece celebrates the work of Kingman's namesake, Lewis Kingman. It's covered in oxidized black paint and needs to be recoated. Staff would like to commission an artist to create a custom mural and complete the work as a Route 66 Centennial project. The total cost is anticipated to be about $11,000, while the Historic Route 66 Association is interested in partnering to cover half the costs. Commission members are revisiting this item. I remember the discussion on some of the paint. We were wondering if they could come back with a little more turquoise and brownish in. I believe Vice Chair Ferry was the one who suggested that. Did we get anything else from this artist as far as a little bit different?
Not that I'm aware of, but they took it to their commission, and their commission, I think, recommended it. And this commission, as I recall at the last meeting, was that they weren't really in favor of that the train there the way it is, the color black, that was the silhouette. So I think that's, we would just like to either have a recommendation for you guys to recommend to council, either to follow it and do it, or leave it the way it is, I think is what.
Can I ask, 'cause I don't remember where the artist was from, but they were from, yeah, we don't, why wouldn't we use a local artist?
Well, one of the suggestions was maybe one of the high schools' art department or artists in the schools possibly do one side of it, but you're also, cost is involved there too.
Mojave Community College, they,
Mojave Community College, that's another idea. But yes, there's, I believe it's 3 different commissions all talking about this, and trying to agree on one thing is hard to do at times. I know another suggestion was paint on one side and then leave it black on the other. Thoughts?
I have a few things I'd like to reiterate was, this is Lewis Kingman Park. It's part of Kingman, it's part of Route 66. The essence of Route 66 is Americana. It's part of our identity. The railroad itself preserves our heritage. The train represents the history of the area. Incorporating other cultures into our own cultural artifacts dilutes our identity and erases our local history. So I feel like we need to keep Route 66 purely American. And as far as the appearance, with this artwork on it, I don't feel it fits the historical background associated with Louis Kingman. I think it looks out of place. The loud colored artwork diminishes the train. In fact, it doesn't even look like a train anymore. So I would suggest either leave the train as it is with a new coat of paint, or put the artwork, and I think, Steve, you suggested this last time, put it separately or in another park even. So if we want that cultural influence during the Route 66 centennial, we could put the artwork elsewhere, but I wouldn't suggest putting it on the train.
I brought up the whole point of this thing. Again, it was the Batavia and Route 66 collaboration, I guess, with the Japan Cultural Project. In thinking this over, I'm back to where I don't want Louis painted anything. I'd like to keep him black. But if we were to do Japanese artwork on the trains as a temporary project while this event was occurring, and then go back to black afterwards, I might be okay with that.
I don't know, I think I kind of agree with Ann. I'd like to see it represent more of our local history and local artists and landscapes that we have here.
Okay, so I know we kind of established I had a different feeling about this the last time when we had the discussion. But one thing that is a little bit challenging to me is we have this, the staff come to us that are really experienced and educated about what they're coming to us with. Josh came to us with a lot of statistics from this public art survey that they had just done. And he shared all of these statistics with us and shared that the community overwhelmingly wanted different kinds of art. So I heard that. Also, he talked about the influence that other cultures have on Route 66. And so Route 66 as our culture means we have a multicultural culture. You know, they have a Japanese Route 66 festival. They have a European Route 66 festival. What he said was that most of the Route 66 materials are printed in Japanese because there's such an overwhelming population of Japanese tourists that come and stimulate our economy, and that is a part of our culture too. So I just wanted to make sure that that was talked about here. I'm also bummed out that Josh is not here to speak about this with us. I know that he was going to bring back some more illustrations of what this could be. And Ed was actually the one that recommended the kind of more muted colors. And so sometimes you see pieces of art that are like this. And this is one of those things, you go to New York City and it's really famous for like the silhouettes of things. They take a silhouette of something and take this type of art, and then they learn all about our culture and put those elements into it. So whether it's like a train wheel, a Route 66 sign, a cactus, a roadrunner, the Wallaby Mountains, you know. And so he brought pictures of examples of this artist from New York. So it had all of the New York culture woven into it. But what I had heard was he planned to come back with a rendering that wasn't by this artist, but in that style that would show our culture infused into it. And maybe it might be some colors that felt like they represented our community. So I feel like we would be able to make a better decision based off of seeing that. Also, I remember him saying that the Route 66 Association of Arizona and tourism dollars would be paying for this, and Route 66 Association of Arizona might not be willing to pay for this if it wasn't this project, because they just believe in it so much. So that's all I have to say about this. I wouldn't be comfortable voting on it, to be honest, unless he came back and gave that presentation, just because I don't feel like this is really taking all of that data into account.
I know this is a timeline thing because the celebration of next year and our next meeting is not until February, unless we had a special meeting that Josh could attend and also give us updates on what the other two commissions wanted to see in this, on this subject too.
I just want to say, I'm not against the culture, infusing the culture, and according to my research, European culture was also very big, and so are we going to include their culture in this? But my objection is putting it on the train. That kind of art just seems to take away from the train. You can't even really see the train itself. But I'd be willing to look at, a rendering, like you said, and that might give us more information.
Yeah, I'm not sure when he's planning on taking this to the council. That's the only reason why we put it back on there, because, I mean, I had sense from the commission at the last meeting that they didn't want to vote because but it felt like that more people wanted to leave it the way it is what it seemed like to me at that meeting. So, we can not vote on it and let it go to council if he puts it to council before our next meeting, or if we find out when he's going to have it, we could maybe hold a special meeting and then you could vote. But, I mean, it seemed like there was quite a few people that were not in favor of having the flashy colors on the train and leave. In other words, I thought they were saying that the art of that train, the way it is the art of that train. I guess that's kind of what I was feeling from the commission at the last meeting, so.
Well,
It
let's
would
see.
be really helpful to see what they'd actually planned to put on the train.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if they've come up with anything on that yet. I kind of don't think they have. I think they were finding out that was going to cost money to have the person show the artwork with and I agree with that. If it's cactuses and things in our desert, makes more than things that are in New York City. So like I said, I'm not sure about where they're at as far as that.
Well, next Tuesday is the Historical Preservation Commission, and I know I'll be attending that just to see how they feel on that. I hadn't looked at their agenda yet, but I think a decision needs to be made quickly on this. I'm not opposed to a special meeting and get with the EDAC too.
I'm just reluctant to squash this project without hearing from Josh on what, if they wanted to come back to us with another rendering. And I'd be willing to do a special meeting as well.
Okay, so there's definitely no motions on this. We need a little more information on that.
Do we need to move to have a special meeting?
I don't think so. We can find out if they've got any other information, and I can schedule a special meeting if they have something to show that. And I can find out about a timeline when they're planning on taking it to council and things like that too, so.
Yeah, because council would need to know pretty soon too, because it is a timeline type of thing for next year. Okay, let's go on to 3, item C, 2026 playground equipment projects. Parks and Recs Division has budgeted $150,000 in the capital improvement plan for the 2026 playground equipment improvement projects. The Parks team will review the new park amenities and the associated costs.
Welcome, Commission. I'm Matthew Golder, Assistant Park Superintendent. I'm going to share the playground improvements we're suggesting for fiscal year '26. Stated we have a $150,000 budget in this capital expense. Following the strategic plan, goal 3, objective 3.3, the master plan, we have researched and put together some playground options for you. So we're going to go over the new amenities and associated costs, and then we'll present some options at the end. And then with your feedback and hopefully your direction, we'll move this on to council. So the first one here is for Centennial Park, the playground right there behind Field 4 and between Field 4 and 5. It's very dated. Playground was installed in 2003. We're suggesting a replacement with the pictured below structure. It would still fit within the bounds and the existing shade structure. Still with the engineered wood fiber safety surface, and the total cost of that project would be $145,000. And then the second playground upgrade we're kind of presenting is Metcalf Park. This playground was installed in 1996. So the project would include removing the existing structure and then adding engineered wood fiber safety surface. And that project would cost $130,000. And then the new Zip Cruise, which is a big hit. If you haven't tried it out, I recommend. Fun for all ages, I promise. But we'd like to add some shade covering to that just because of the use and where it's positioned. It would help kind of prevent some of the balls coming over the fences there, and just kind of make that more available for play during the warmer seasons. But that upgrade would be $95,000. And just some examples of other shade structures we've done, but it'd be similar product with the blue tarp over it. And then the last thing we're going to present before I get to the options is just some new apparatuses for Grandview Pool. So we had to remove Grandview Pool's diving boards and the slide because they both failed to meet current ASTM standards, both for the 1487 and 2461. 2461 is the pool standards, but it just refers you for any play apparatuses back to 1487, which is the playground standards for safety. So we removed both of those, and with everything going on with Grandview Pool, we'd like to move funds from playgrounds to Grandview Pool upgrade to purchase some of these. So we have a water slide, more upgraded than what was there. It has the proper transition platform, which was one of the issues with the previous slide, plus the diameter of the slide itself was inadequate for the previous slide, but it would likely go in the same area. And then also a climbing wall on the deep end there. Likely be an 8-foot by 8-foot wall. But those two items, the slide is $35,000 and the climbing wall would be approximately $25,000. So with the options for playgrounds, the first option is Centennial Park by itself. Second one is Metcalf Park. And then the third option would be the shade structure for the Centennial Park over the Zip Cruise, and then also the transferring of funds into Grandview to get the water slide and climbing wall. This does put us over the 150, but we do have some remaining funds in Grandview we utilized to accomplish that project. I know it does say staff recommends on the first option. I apologize, it's supposed to be on the third. That's a typo on my part, but those are the three options we're presenting to you for playground upgrades for fiscal year 26. So I'd like to open it up to any questions or discussion you guys have.
I haven't been to Mojave or Hubs lately. Do they have shade structures on their playground?
So currently they do not have shade structures. Hubs is in a pretty good position with some of the like more mature trees where it does stay shaded quite often. They're not as high of use parks by any means. I mean, they do get play, and we'd like to get there eventually, but the parks that are seeing a lot of use, we'd like to kind of prioritize those. We did do some upgrades a couple years back on Hubs, adding some new apparatuses. There's a really cool spinner that's also a rope climber, and then some more all abilities kind of apparatuses there, along with touching up and giving the swing sets new life, and then at Mojave, we went through and repainted all that. So that, I mean, the playgrounds definitely look a lot better and are a lot safer than they were in the past, but they just don't seem the volume, so it doesn't make sense to make those high priorities at this point in time.
When do you anticipate doing shade structures for those parks?
So there's still some other parks that need shade structures. They'd probably fall into between, I don't have an actual time frame for you, I guess. We'd like to see some of the upgrades of some of the higher users like Metcalf and Centennial playgrounds before we really get into those.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions for Matt?
I like option 3. I think the climbing wall looks like a blast. I'm just a little bit worried about one kid falling from 8 feet up in the air onto the head of another little kid underneath him. How are they gonna make sure that doesn't happen?
So it'd be similar to like what Centennial does already with the pool slide, where it's kind of one user at a time. There's lifeguard watching that area, so it's not going to be multiple kids free for all, and it's in the deep end too, so it's kind of limited to people swimming, and they can kind of monitor that area a little bit better.
I like option 3 too. The Zip Cruise does seem to be really popular, but is a little limited in the heat.
Yes.
And Grandview does look a little bit bare when you drive by and might be used a little more.
And this is the time really to do those upgrades if we're going to do it to Grandview, because we're already tearing up the deck to do the bonding grid to ground all the apparatuses on the deck, so we could tie these in right now and wouldn't have to tear up the deck again.
Okay, I agree with staff on option 3. One thing that I think is just so special about our pools is that this is really like a lifeline for our community. Just having the lifeguards and the staff there, it is like a daycare for a lot of our kiddos in the summertime. And so I think it's a really good idea to do these upgrades for the pool.
Definitely, and having those new play features for older kids, I think, would definitely draw more excitement to that pool versus Centennial. And it's more fitting for if you have children of different age groups. You have the wading pool, you have the shallower water, and then you also have exciting play apparatuses for older.
I have to ask, why wasn't a springboard option to be put back?
So according to the ASM standards, we need, for a diving board, we need at least 9 feet of depth, which it has just in the center, but we need that for 18 feet as a minimum. So
I see.
we're not allowed to following current safety standards.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, good questions, good to know. Would anyone like to make a motion for option 3? Seems like that's what everybody, or most of
I
us would
motion to
like.
carry number 3.
Okay, we have a
Second.
motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that,
Thank you for your time.
thank you, Matt. Okay, 3D is the local artist Jesse Lomalai art donation. Local artist Jesse Lomalai is requesting permission to donate a Roadrunner statue to the City of Kingman Parks Division. Staff recommends it be placed at Locomotive Park, located at 310 West Beale Street. The statue is valued at $1,000.
There's 3 slides on it. I just wanted to show you what this was. There's the size of it. So it shows you the size of it. And it tells you the size of the weight right there. And on the next slide, where we envision another picture of it. I'm sorry about that. Thank you. So those are pictures of the Roadrunner itself. And then the next slide would be the location where we think it would fit good. And Mr. Lamelli originally thought he wanted this to be on the corner of Fire Station 2 because he drives home that way all the time. I said, to me, this is a really cool place that people will be taking pictures of this and sending them all around the world. So I think this is a kind of cool area by the train and then if we have a picture, the next picture would be what it would look like from the other side with the powerhouse in the back, and it would be, and it's a local artist. That's what I think is cool about it too. So, anyway, that's what it is, and we would obviously want the commission to recommend this to council. So, because all donations have to be approved by council.
So that it's the same painting on both sides?
Yeah.
Is that, so you see it? Okay. And I know that one looks like it's maybe gonna race the train. I like it in that direction.
Yeah, those are just my cheap superimposing them where they would go, so that's gonna look a lot better than what that would look.
Yeah.
I don't have the artistic software to do it much better than that.
Well,
If you have any questions, though, I'd be happy to answer them.
any questions? I don't,
I just love this. I think it's so great whenever anybody wants to donate anything to our parks, especially art. I'm just wondering, looking at it, and I was thinking about it a little, we have that Chuckwalla over there, and I think he might be kind of lonely. I'm wondering if it would be possible to maybe have a little native animal spot over there with maybe some like native landscaping and stuff around there.
You're saying a different location than that, in other words, down by the,
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love that. It's really cute, but I've heard talk of there maybe being a nature trail from Powerhouse to the train station. And some of the talk was how cool would it be to have native plants along that stretch? People could get out, walk, learn about the different native plants and animals. And here's a native plant sculpture that could be, maybe possibly placed over there. And you have the Chuckwalla, put some nice little native plants around them, and it could be the start of something really cool if you guys liked that, or if the parks thought that was a good idea.
So I'm not clear on the location. You mean move the Roadrunner over where the Chuckwalla is, or vice versa?
I was thinking maybe the Roadrunner could join the Chuckwalla.
yeah, I shared with Mr. Lamelli this spot. That's the only reason why, this spot is wide enough there, and so, I'm not opposed to looking at other spots, and if he would be up for us moving it if we decided on this spot even, so.
Yeah, maybe that would be a better question, is if it can be moved, if future, down the road, there was a nice little nature trail or something, if that would be a possibility to have it over on that side of the road. Okay,
I can double check with him and see if he's up for that, which I think he would be.
cool. Well, I love it.
speak
I
for him,
think
though.
we should adopt him.
I think we should take him and make a decision where to put him
All right,
sometime in the future. I mean, let's not turn down the donation. It's a great donation.
okay.
well, hearing that, would someone like to make a motion for the donation?
I move to accept the donation of the Roadrunner.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that is passed. Wayfinding signs to the trailheads. Let's see, Vice Chair requested to discuss wayfinding signs at each trailhead in the city of Kingman, recommending desired routes that would guide citizens from the main thoroughways to the various trailheads in the community. For example, signage leading citizens to the White Cliffs Wagon Trailhead.
All right, I'm joining you once again. So trailhead wayfinding signage. So current existing wayfinding signs include to the White Cliffs Trail System, Wagon Wheels Trailhead. They're just on Grandview currently. There's one just around the school, and then a second one right before Lead Street, turning right. All trailheads for White Cliffs do have signage, but at the trailhead. And then for Campbell Loop / Springs area, the only current signage that's wayfinding is on Beale Street heading out towards 93. Just like White Cliffs, they both have trailhead signage and signage right at the road. So with some discussions with our streets department, We've identified some areas where we could add some wayfinding signs. So right on 3rd and 66 for the south trailhead. The easiest way probably to get to the south trailhead is 3rd Street, 5th Street. Taking that one way on Palo Christie and turning up is kind of complicated. So we identified 66, both directions of traffic there, and then at Beale, capturing both coming up to Beale Street and both directions of Beale Street, and then some signage at Chestnut and 3rd, and then another at Chestnut and 4th. And then for the Wagon Wheels Trailhead, we do have signage there, as I stated, on Grandview, but we're kind of missing signage at the intersection of Grandview, Beale, 66. So identified some areas signage could be added there, as well as on actual Lead Street, some signage before you go up around the corner, just so it's not so confusing, because when you're going up out of that dip, you kind of feel lost, right? So some additional signage there. We're also gonna replace the 2 existing signs on Grandview to kind of match the verbiage of these new signs. And then for the White Cliffs Trail System North Trailhead, we'd like to add the White Cliffs Trail System North Trailhead signage to the existing golf course signs on Stockton Hill Road. These signs will stay green, just some discussions with the streets department as guide signs along a major roadway. They'd like them to stay green versus going the brown. Both are acceptable for guided signs, but green's your typical standard sign color there. And that's all I have so far for wayfinding signs. I know we have some more opportunities maybe after we get this done for Camp Beale Loop and Springs, getting some better signage going to those areas. But for the trailheads now, we wanted to kind of focus on the White Cliffs. Do you have any questions about this?
I think that's brilliant. Thank you.
I know Monolith Gardens allows horses. You can ride your horse in Monolith Gardens. I don't think we do in the city, on the city trails. Is that true?
So not on White Cliffs,
Not on White Cliffs.
but on Camp Beale Loop, equestrian use is allowed.
I would like to suggest that along the bottom of any of those signs, you have the hiker icon, the bicyclist icon, and the horse icon on those trails where those are allowed.
Okay.
Just so people know what to expect when they're at those trails. Or
Okay.
where they can go.
I think we could do that fairly simply.
And in the priority of who's got the right of way.
We have those at the trailhead.
Right. But I mean, those would be the same thing across the bottom of those signs.
Right, yeah, so we'd have those same
Yeah.
pictograms for that. Yeah, I think we could totally do that. And then if you guys have no other questions, our streets department's currently working on it, and they're anticipating maybe even within a week or two having some of these signages in place. So that's all I have for the update for that.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. I had a couple in mind, but really I was hoping that the places could be identified, and you did it. That is awesome. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I don't believe we need a motion for that, because they're already being done and in the works, so. Moving on to 3F, Memorial Day 2026 planning. Surbat Garden Club, Joanne Olson would like to discuss the Gold Star dedication that'd be mounted on the back side of the memorial map wall. That's the war maps, and provide a brief message during the unveiling. Joanne?
Is this on? Yep. Actually, that's going to be changed because they have other plans. I was speaking with the commandant, with the Young Marines. So I don't know what they came up with the decision on as far as dimensions, but when you go between the war maps, then it goes into where there's a brick area, donor brick area, and then pillars, and there's benches between each of those pillars. And at the very end of that, I don't know what used to be there, there's a bench. They're going to remove what I think was a cigarette butt or something, whatever, whatever. They're going to be pulling that out, and they're going to build another wall there, a smaller wall, to accommodate the plaque I'm going to show you. And originally I thought this was going to happen for Veterans Day, but we're going to piggyback onto the memorial Day celebration with the Young Marines. So I'm going to be letting them do all the work and kind of merge our two ceremonies. And I'll grab the plaque and I'll show it to you what it looks like. So as you can see it, I'll get back to the microphone in a second. So this is the Gold Star plaque. So what was put at Lewis Park, at Lewis Kingman Park, is the Blue Star Memorial, which is for all. Here, give me the muscle. Okay. So at Lewis Park, we had the Blue Star Memorial, which is honoring all current and past members of the services and the armed forces. The Gold Star is the next step above, and that's honoring all members who gave their life. And it's honoring their families and stuff like that. I think it's, but that's the purpose of the Gold Star. And it's designed to be mounted on a wall, or a boulder, but we're gonna do a wall. And so it's a little bit smaller than the Blue Star, but it was appropriate. So anyways, that's the change in that. So we're not gonna be on the back side of the maps. They have some other plans that they're gonna be doing with that. And, but they came up with, for us, I thought was better, because we were gonna be a focal point at that little meditation area. So, I don't know if you need.
That's just beautiful. I just love this. Commissioner Dory and I attended the Blue Star. Oh, and that was quite the ceremony. That was lovely.
The Young Marines, and we had my mind's going blank, the motorcycle guard, the color guard, stuff like that. I mean, everybody did an excellent job and stuff like that, and it was well represented by the city officials stuff, so we're pleased with that. And the Blue Star Gold Star project is a national project with the Garden Clubs of America, and then also with the Arizona Federation that we belong to. And so we can actually put up more Blue Stars or Gold Stars around the city as needed, or if we find another area. So, but these are nice because they're on Route 66. We want to get that in and part of that ceremony. I haven't checked to see if it made it to the it's a wayfinding site where the Blue Star, Gold Star memorials, you can list it in there. If it's for tourists, they can type in someplace they're gonna go, and it'll list the locations, everything. So I'll check. I'll let you guys know if that gets on there. So it's good for tourism too.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else for Joanne? Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you very much, Joanne.
Thank you.
Now we have reports. We have the Recreation Superintendent's report. Ms. Yvonne?
Good afternoon, everyone. So as far as the Recreation Division goes, we've completed pretty much the majority of our fall season programs and activities and already headed into winter and for the upcoming spring season. Fitness and dance. Our dance classes this season have been very successful. They will complete on Saturday with their recital. We have 2 recitals scheduled, one at 12:30, one at 4. Our 12:30 recital has been sold out for a couple of weeks now. And the 4 p.m., which is more of the advanced level dancers, there's still quite a few tickets left for that one, if you guys are interested in wanting to attend. Sports Recreation Coordinator Ryan Fruworth, I brought him here with me today. He continues to work closely with our staff for this season. So Ryan, this is Ryan Fruworth. For those of you who don't know who he is, but he has worked with us previously, left, and now he's back with us once again. So I want to welcome him and thank him for all of his hard work and dedication that he's been providing to us. Youth volleyball began back in September, and it will conclude tonight. Our youth league had 41 kids enrolled in the youngest division, which consisted of 4 teams. Our eldest division, unfortunately, we had to cancel. We had 17 enrolled. We were hopes to at least be able to get one person to help coach those, but nobody was interested in becoming a volunteer coach, so we had to refund all of those participants. In the adult co-ed volleyball, we ended up with 3 divisions this season. League play also began back in September. And of the 3 divisions, the second one completed yesterday, one completes tonight, and the other one will complete the first week of December as we're taking next week off due to the Thanksgiving holiday. Our fall tennis and pickleball lessons were very successful this fall. We had to cancel 1 session, I believe, for pickleball, but the rest were sold out for the remainder of the season. We continue to work closely with all of our local organizations to facilitate soccer, football, travel baseball, and softball, Kingman Academy campuses, Lee Williams, along with all of the other outside organizations that host tournaments here in Kingman. Sorry about that. October was a pretty busy month. We had 2 softball tournaments held in October. And soccer completed their end of season as well. KSA had began their fall season of softball in September and completed it on October 22nd. We've also started taking registrations for our upcoming youth basketball program. Those are slowly coming in. We had an early registration period that ended on October 10th. And if anyone has any questions or needs additional information on any of our youth or adult sports, we do encourage you to call our office, ask for Ryan. He's your go-to person for that. On our other leisure and recreation classes, this season we attempted to try a new program. It was called Salsa and Salsa over the fall break with hopes to gather enough teens and adults to partake, but unfortunately we didn't have anyone registered until the day of. 2 people called, but at that point we already had canceled our instructor and we didn't buy supplies. And so that one didn't quite take off, but we do want to try it again, maybe on a weekend instead of a weeknight. We weren't sure which day would work best for that one program. On our special events back in September, some of you are familiar with this, but we had our Andy Divine Days Parade. We hosted the event with 78 entries, which exceeded our goal of 70. We did have 82 actually registered, but 4 canceled the day before because the weather was expected to be pretty rainy and ugly on Saturday, and it turns out we had beautiful weather, so we had a very successful event. Our Grand Marshal was Jean Bishop. She was excited and was very impressed with this year's event. And I cannot thank our staff and volunteers enough. They all did an amazing job of keeping the parade moving with very little and few gaps this year. And then, of course, I cannot be more thankful to our co-workers as far as the rec division, golf team, park employees. Everybody pulls together to make this event successful because there's no way I could have done it on my own for sure. We also assisted with the citywide annual Route 66 Fest that took place at Lewis Kingman Park over October 10th and 11th. Very good turnout, very successful. Our fall coloring contest brought in 951 coloring sheets that were judged, a lot of them, to develop 18 winners. 951, we had to pick 18. Hard, but it was able to be done. And we did have sponsors to that as well. Taco Bell donated some food vouchers to all of our youth that had participated. Recreation Coordinator Sandy, she's not here today because she's holding down the office. She's been seeking a lot of community donations to help offset some of these things. Like I said, Taco Bell donated food vouchers. She works with a lot of the businesses in town. They'll donate gift certificates for like our upcoming elf hunt or for other events that we have going on. She's been working really hard, and I have to give kudos to her as well. On the aquatic side of things, our pool was utilized this last fall season for the school swim teams' practices and swim meets. The season ended just last week or 2 weeks ago. The pool is now closed officially for the season until we open up for the one day on New Year's Day for our annual polar bear dip. So if any of you are out and about, noon, Centennial Park, you can watch those that are willing to bear the cold water, jump in. Our pool manager, Callista Matthews, continues to communicate any needs that she feels needed for our pool facilities. She communicates well with myself as well as with the Parks Department for maintenance issues. Other than that, on the miscellaneous side of things, we've attended over the last 3 months 10 community outreach events between First Fridays, the Women's Health Fair, Back to School Nights, Literacy Night, Fall Festivals, and the Mojave County Job Fair, just to name a few. But there was, like I said, over the last 3 months, we attended just about, I think it was 10, maybe 11 community outreach events with hopes to promote our department from all aspects, from the recreation programs, golfs, parks, trails, everything combined. So, other than that, that's all I really have. Any questions? Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Oh, that's a first. Park Superintendent report.
Hey, everybody, I'm the new park superintendent, Mike Hubble. I got a PowerPoint for you guys. All right. One of the newest things that we got is, and I'm brand new, I'm only here 2 months, so a lot of the stuff I'm gonna be talking about has happened way before I got here, so I'm gonna fill in the gaps. If I have any questions specific, Matt will fill me in. But we got in a new pendulum swing over at Cecil Davis, very interesting, I've never seen anything like it. We did all the curbing and ramp, poured ourselves, the safety surface was added. It's open for use and it is very popular. It will hold larger people too, so jump on it if you guys get by there. The Lewis Kingman shield, a very popular thing over at Lewis Kingman. We removed the existing concrete layer and then we added in 3/8 minus rock. It packed in a little bit nicer, looked a lot nicer. We included some stone to kind of round it out and kind of box it in. You'll see people taking pictures over there all the time. Metcalf exercise equipment, that just got in when I first started. Staff installed all of it. We're seeing some people use it. We kind of boxed it in with some fresh railroad ties. Once again, added some of that 3/8 that gold rock, so it kind of looks nice, packs in really well, so people aren't going to get muddy. For a trails update, Camp Beal Loop, we've installed all the signs from phase 1. Those are installed into gabion baskets, so they look kind of nice. They're not going to blow over, get run over by a errant bicyclist. The master plan update, we did have a community outreach event on August 12th. We had 50-plus people in attendance, giving their input and discussing trail connectivity and amenities. And then J2 Engineering, they met with us in October. And so we discussed some of the connectivity options and possibilities throughout the city to try and make it kind of a more cohesive thing. So big project updates, Grandview Pool, if anybody drives by, you'll see some activity happen down there. We just removed all the liner and the guts of it last week. Crews are over there right now. We're getting ready to pull out the existing heater and the old filters. We're going to use some big equipment on borrow from Public Works. Wind phone. Sounds like we spoke with Kingman Main Street. So I think we decided on a location above the parking lot adjacent to a bench that's up there. It'll be real nice view. I think we're meeting Friday to discuss a little bit more. The boxcar bridge over at Lewis Kingman, there's an existing boxcar bridge behind Field 1 at Southside that some of you may have noticed. We're working on a plan to get that placed over to make a walkway across the canal there. That's working with Josh's people as well. And then Sunbelt Park, that's going. We've been meeting with Fire regarding Fire Station 25 because that'll be part of the park in the initial plan. So the grading is going to be an issue over there. We're working on the drainage canal is one of the big thing, working on the 90% plan for that, as well as 60% plans for the park itself. Contract modifications are likely going to be necessary, especially accounting for the Fire Station 25. Here's the laundry list of things regarding safety and training. A few of our parks members attended a lithium battery disposal training. Lithium batteries are always in the news as far as exploding, so we're trying to mitigate that. South Trailhead, we replaced some broken reflector poles on the way up so people don't drive off the road. And then Centennial Park, our big one, we're replacing chain. Some old exercise equipment was located where it's kind of rotting out, where it was made of wood. It's just outdated, so we removed that so nobody gets hurt. Walkway paths, we're keeping sure that those are all nice and smooth for everybody. Repairs over at the fourplex, that's a giant area of concrete, so we've been patching any cracks, leveling things out where we can. We're always adding wood chips to our playground sets. It always just gets fluffed out and compacts, especially after rain. Dog park is a constant thing, filling in holes. Dogs leave holes everywhere. Metcalf Park, the bucket swing, it got removed with a new chain That's an ongoing thing with these swings. We're constantly inspecting them. They get wear points, especially the popular chains. Wallach Ranch, we fixed the picnic table. That's one of our most popular picnic areas. It's reserved weekly at least. Some issues we'll get into later with some vandalism, but we replaced the broken slide. Lewis Kingman, we've been trimming trees around the center monument, added cold patch. There was some electrical work there that had kind of a big dip. Filled that in, so that's a nice smoother drive. Canyon Shadows, we're repairing the rubber coating on the playground bridge and the broken swing. South side, more surface to the playground. Centennial and south side, that was a big one. We just replaced all the out bulbs. We had, I think it was a total of 24 bulbs that were out. Those all got replaced with assistance from Yesco. They had to bring in a huge crane. So here's some miscellaneous repairs and improvements. I am the new superintendent. I started back in September. Powerhouse Dog Park, that was like in my first week. That is open. It's a popular thing. Received pallets of seed from resident Earl Bender. He's been helping us out donating seeds. He donated a lot of snow melt, so that's been really helpful for us. We delivered 2 bleachers for Kingman Fire over next to the new Kingman Medical Center. They had a mock accident scenario with a drag race, so we supplied those to them, so we had to drive some large bleachers all the way across town for them. Set up and helped Andy Devine Days Parade, walkway from Trugs, employee appreciation lunch for city employees, employee movie at the golf course, Citizens Academy at the golf course, and of course 66 Fest was recent, so we helped out with that along with other city organizations. And that included loading up items from Powerhouse, set up on Thursday, finish the setup, and closing up at the end of the event. Centennial Park, we prep fields for in my time, a large weekend tournament, but those have been throughout the year. Overnight field prep, some of our employees have been working until 2 a.m. to make sure that fields are prepped after the day's events and get them ready for the next day. Adjusting the water, turn off irrigation for overnight tournaments. That's been twice just this quarter. We've been slit seating and top dressing with sand on U2 and U14 soccer fields because those get used nonstop every day. Burbank parking lights have been all replaced down in the parking lot. They're brand new LEDs. Everything's lit up. It's a lot safer. Looks a lot nicer. Backflow was damaged in the dog park is a huge issue. City water assisted us with that. So we had to shut down 10 acres of turf. We got it fixed as soon as possible. That was in-house fix. It's hard to find somebody that can fix backflows. Rambling Rose, we've been trimming bushes and that water saving over there where we got rid of some of the turf. It's still looking good. We're saving water there. Cecil Davis, we placed 2 motors at the splash pad. Those splash pads are constantly taking maintenance and upgrades. We got 21 trash cans from Matt Driscoll at BLM. You might start noticing them in the parks. They're large, just green cubes. There's a bear safe. They use them throughout BLM. They donated to us. They look nice. They're vandalism-ish free. And they're easy to access. They're easy to lockable when we do need them locked. We still got more, and it sounds like he can get us more if we need some. We've got a brand new Bobcat UTV and a tilt deck equipment trailer, so it makes our lives a lot easier. Locomotive lighting, we've been working with the local Jeff Jarvis and IT. You guys may have seen some work down there. Matt's been down there every day for about the past 3 weeks, and it's no end in sight. But that's going to look nice, all LED display, synchronized with music. Finished all lighting of the trees in the Ramada. Christmas trees, I think, getting done tomorrow. So we'll be ready for the season. Irrigation is nonstop. As at the time this was completed, 178 irrigation issues were fixed. Firefighters fixed irrigation behind the Ramada. Centennial line breaks all the time. As the trees grow, they break lines. As people play, break lines. Time comes, break lines. Lewis Kingman fixed a main line leak, started flooding into the neighborhood, so luckily my guys were able to jump on that real fast. Adopt a Park, that's a thing we got where people help out. We got the Rotary Club, the Young Marines, the Marine Corps League 887, Kingman Main Street, Colorado River Trail Alliance, it's helping out a lot with our trails. Knights of Columbus, Kingman Youth Advisory Council, Mojave County Probation. They're working, as you can see over there, all the parks that they're helping out with, especially on the trails. That helps where we can't really get to. It takes a lot of manpower to devote to that. And the Mojave Democratic Central Committee assisted as well. And so then we get into some information regarding vandalism. You're going to see a breakdown of some of the costs associated with vandalism throughout our parks. It adds up real fast, especially when you include manpower. Simple cover-up of graffiti takes time of paid employees, unfortunately. And here's an unfortunate thing, just going over some of the vandalism where we can't always focus on making our parks better. We're just trying to fix what has got damaged. It kind of ebbs and flows right now. Wallach Ranch is the one getting hammered the most. But Cecil Davis, stall doors have been broken off in the restrooms. Graffiti on the playground is almost daily. Centennial Park, graffiti. People just kicking gates off. Horseshoe stakes got removed. I don't know how that happened. They're attached to chunks of concrete, so somebody ripped those out of the ground. Firefighters, for some reason, gets a lot of graffiti as well. And of course, the state skate park, that's luckily an easy cleanup. I-40 walk path, that's another one that's out of sight, out of mind sometimes, so we're constantly checking on that. Lewis Kingman, luckily, doesn't get hit too much, but we had a light pole that was just bent, like somebody just raged on it. Metcalf Park, graffiti as usual. Luckily, they're leaving the mural alone that's on the side of the restroom. We've been worried about that. So far, nobody's touching that. It's like to have some sort of respect. Southside Park, a light was broken off the restroom. Wheelchair swing was damaged. Wallach Ranch continues to see some issues. Baller lights keep getting smashed off. So we make those as safe as possible, as quick as possible. Trail systems have had some issues, especially over at Wagon Wheels. We've had some very significant vandalism down there. That's one reason we kind of worry about anything that we install over there. We're gonna have to make sure it's very sturdy and damage proof. Does anybody have any questions?
We talked about this previously. Are security cameras in the offing at some point in time?
They're in the works right now, Matt's been working with our IT department on that, so our IT department is responsible for that area, but Matt's been working with them on that.
So there is 7 currently on order, and once they get in, we'll kind of prioritize them on more of the vandalism heavy parks.
Yeah, we've got certain parks in mind that we'll definitely want to focus on, probably Cecil Davis, Wallach Ranch, and Firefighters first. We like some at some of the trailheads, but connectivity and having access to phone and Wi-Fi, internet kind of stuff makes it a challenge.
Is there 20 grand in the city budget for graffiti mitigation? I mean, that's what we're going to wind up at the end of the year.
That's what comes out of our parks budget, yeah.
It does, okay.
So it's not a specific line item, but it comes out of other line items. So a lot of it's grounds repair. Just it really depends on what it is. If it's like a playground structure, it comes out of grounds equipment. But yes, it does eat up from funds. So we haven't really got to a point where we're budgeting for vandalism.
Yeah, it is. Anyone else? Did you have something? Okay. We appreciate that, Mike. Thank you. Okay. Number 5, we have announcements by commission members. Any announcements? No announcements?
I have some announcements too.
Okay,
real
I
quick.
have some
Just-
announcements too.
You want to let me go first, and then you can go, because yours are more important than mine.
You know me.
I just want to update a couple other things. The trails, we talked about that briefly, but we had also got a $500 grant for the Omaha Drive Shared Use Path, which was going to be donated by Angle Homes. And we're excited to have this grant now. Angle Homes is going to work on another section of trail that will go from Airway basically to I-40 over near the new hospital in that area. So it's obviously really cool areas that we're trying to link areas of our city together. So we're excited about that. The Trails Master Plan, like Matt said, is in the works, and we're getting really close on it. Thank you to BLM, the county, ADOT, CRETA, Parks team, city official, other departments have been super helpful. So we're excited about all that. Sunbelt Park, we've got a construction manager at risk. Wilming is our construction manager at risk, was approved by council, and where the drainage channel is at 90% design, and we're getting really close to getting that, where we can break ground and get the drainage channel in. The park is at 60%, and we had a meeting the other day with user groups in our park about is there support. We had a report that was given to council that it doesn't look real promising for a bond issue to pass, and we're trying to see if there's support from park users that will support a bond issue. So it was a really good meeting, and look forward to more on that. Also, Grandview Pool, exciting, that's exciting to get rolling on that. We're excited about that. I would like to welcome Mike, doing an awesome job so far, and Matt's done a great job of training him. So, no, they're just a great team. I'll tell you, we're really fortunate to have both of them. And Yvonne and her team, can't say enough about them either. They do a great job, and welcome back, Ryan. And I'm really proud of our department, how they work together. Each division works together. They help golf when they need it. They help each other. So, I mean, it's really great. And obviously Sherry and our office staff, we have some really good part-time office staff that just do so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you to all of you, and appreciate our commission and council. I'd really like to get a picture, because really, I don't know if you knew this, but we have the top 2 commissions in the city. So I want to get a picture of you guys right there. So we have you in golf, so I want to definitely get a picture before we go. And happy Thanksgiving next week. And also, our next meeting is February 18th. So.
All right, well, the things I attended was the Route 66 Museum Dog Park ribbon cutting. That's where I met Mike for the first time in Kingman. I want to shout out to Yvonne and her staff and the Parks Department and golf for another great Andy Devine Days Parade. I'd also like a shout out to the Kingman Youth Marines Color Guard that led the parade. That was really nice to see. Let's see. I attended the Golf Advisory, the Economic Development Advisory Commission, and the Heritage Preservation. Let's see. I also, some of us here, attended the Commission Appreciation Barbecue last Thursday over at the golf course. And with this time of year, and you have many thanks, I would like to shout out to our Parks Recreation, Mike Mearsman, for all he's done. He was hired onto the city as a golf superintendent and immediately started improvements there. At one point, he had to take on the parks superintendent duties at the same time, along with being golf course superintendent, until a new park superintendent was hired. As the park superintendent, he saw things to upgrade the department along with the department morale at the time. Then when the director position came open, he was hired. But where I'm going with this is that Mike saw the interest in updating the existing trails and the foresight in adding new trails, which has grown immensely. The input from the public and these commissioners here on ideas regarding the trail system has been invaluable. It puts more work on the parks employees, but the public has been rewarded for their efforts. And tourists have also taken advantage of all the trails too, and I'd like to see a trail, actually, one of the trails named Mike's Smile. But with that, I also would like to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And thanks again, Mike and Yvonne and Matt and Ryan, doing a wonderful job. And next is request for future reports and updates. Anyone? Okay. Well, how about a motion to adjourn then?
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion. How about a second?
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good, thank you. We are adjourned.
Stay and talk some more.